YouTube family. This is Queen Renee coming at you with another video. So, I do want to say I apologize for not posting lately. I've been, just kind of focusing on some other things, but I will be trying my hardest to get new content out to you guys on a regular basis. So, first off, let's start with our fair use notice. Due to the social nature of this site, this channel may make use of copyright material and use of which has not always been specifically authorized by the copyright owner. Its application constitutes a fair use of any such copyrighted material as provided in the Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Law. In accordance with the Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, the material on this channel is offered publicly and without profit to the users of the Internet for comment and nonprofit educational, informational purposes. The following work is intended to be shared. It's free and only for educational purposes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So as you can see, as you guys read, the title of this particular show is The Face of Buckbreaking in the 21st Century. So I found my sister actually sent me a picture and some information on this particular person, and that's my sister Chi from I Am Chi. Go ahead and look her channel up. It's called Chopping It Up with Chi. Um, so also, I want to shout out my girl, one of my subscribers, Miss Kimberly Jackson. She actually sent me, actually posted in my buck breaking video about this. I had already planned on making a video on this weekend, but she also kind of put a fire under me that this is actually, I needed to make this video. So here we go. So a detective by the name of Philip Nordo, and that's Nordo. Um, he is officially the face of buckbreaking in the 20th century, in my opinion. He serves to show us that buckbreaking is still an act that is in literal terms and in figurative terms. It's and when I say in literal terms, I mean it's something that is still happening today. We can say figuratively a lot of times. They done buck broke that man or that black man, or the N word, which I won't use right now on this right here, not right now anyway. But we can say it in a figurative language that just means that somebody has pretty much punked a black person, made them they bitch, if you if you understand what I'm saying. Not so much as in a literal sense. So somebody that's cooning and buffooning uh for their daddy, for their zaddy. I guess that's the word that I'm supposed to use for that. But and yeah, that could be considered as buck breaking. But this particular animal that goes by the name of Philip Nordo, it was literally buck breaking these young men. Now, when I say that, I have not read, and I'm just going to put this out here, that it was all black men that he accosted and assaulted and raped. I'm not saying that. I just have not read of any that have come forward um, to sue him or to out this particular act that this man has been performing on these men for years. So this nasty little animal here, he has been raping, assaulting, stalking, intimidating black male witnesses for years. There's a lawsuit that was just filed by James Frazier. I don't know that it was just filed. It may have been filed a couple of years ago. This particular situation, which is kind of funny to me, that, well, not funny, haha, but interesting to me that we're just now hearing about this. So, I think it's like this lawsuit possibly was filed against him maybe in 2019. So it's just interesting to me that we are just now hearing about this. It's not something that was on the news, and we didn't hear a lot about it, but I guess we wouldn't, because they don't want you to know these things. They don't want you to know that they still have these animals out here in these streets doing these things that they've given power to. But anyway, I digress. So, um, James Frazier, and if y'all see me keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes, y'all, because I don't want to really miss anything, any talking points. But anyway, so James Frazier filed charges against Nordo. He alleges that Nordo made sexual advances towards him, and he declined, and when he declined them, he then was coerced into signing a false confession that caused him to serve nearly 7 years of a life sentence for a 2012 double murder, which he had no involvement in. He was released from prison after serving 7 years due to insufficient credible evidence to prove him guilty. Now let's unpack that. So, this young man was accosted by this so-called detective, and when this detective tried to make sexual advances towards this young man, and he refused his advances, he saying he, pretty much, nah, I ain't with that. This evil piece of crap um, railroaded him and essentially made this man sign a false confession for a double murder that he was not involved in. Now, I'm wondering in my head, I'm trying to think, what did he do to that man to make him sign that, if he wasn't able to sexually assault him, if he didn't agree to that, or he didn't allow him to sexually assault him? What was it that he did? Did they beat him? What did they do? It doesn't say that in the actual article that I read, but I'm pretty sure he probably did get beat up on. So moving on, there was also another man that was released from prison, 9 years after serving 9 years of a 15 to 30-year sentence on a third-degree murder that Nordo and other cops um, were involved in. Nordo and these other cops, they actually coerced witnesses to make false statements and allegations in 2009 against this man. So not only were they coercing and abusing, attacking, sexually molesting, what have you, potential criminals, that people that they were trying to really get and put in jail, they were also doing these same nefarious acts on witnesses, coercing them. So, what were you doing to the witnesses to make them give you these false statements? What were police use a lot of tactics. Let's just keep that clear. They use a lot of tactics to get someone to admit to something that they haven't done, or make up stories about people and what they saw when they saw nothing, they knew nothing, they know nothing of the case or nothing of the person. But the police do a lot of things. They threaten people with bodily harm, they threaten to take away people's children, they threaten to run people in and put people in jail when they've done nothing. So the police have a lot of things that they do and can do to make someone say they did something when they didn't. And usually it's more along the lines of kind of a beating and torturing. Like they'll have you sitting for hours, interrogating you for hours with no sleep, no food, no drink, no nothing. And then sometimes they'll just beat the crap out you. But just to think that there was this man in here doing other things to these men, making them sign confessions that weren't true. So Nordo himself, he was a 20-year veteran officer who served a decade as a homicide investigator. He's now 52 years old, and he was actually fired in 2017. Now, a grand jury inquiry was launched into his work. He was just charged this February. Now, this is 2021. He was just charged this February, citing that he had sexually targeted young men during the course of his investigations and intimidated them into silence. So this little nasty slime ball, he was sexually abusing men in the interrogation rooms and also in the prison visiting rooms. Now, let's unpack that. Let's talk about that. They said he was sexually abusing the men in interrogation rooms. And as we all know, the interrogation rooms always have film, always have video. There's video cameras in the interrogation rooms. So who turned them off? See, that tells me automatically he was not working alone. You can't tell me he was working alone. You can't tell me there weren't other people involved in this nastiness. There had to be some more people on board with this, because if you have someone in an interrogation room and all of a sudden there's no tape of your interrogation, somebody audits those tapes. Somebody audits the time that those rooms are being used. And if there's no videotape, you turn it off. Ain't it awful suspicious that whenever you go in there with a certain um, particular type of male, of prisoner, you turn off the tapes. You don't record it. They also said that he was interrogating these men in the prison visiting rooms. So, as a detective, and this is just my thought process, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, and if I am, go ahead and check me down in the subscription, in the comments, and that's just fine. But in my opinion, the way that I think about this is, I've been to prison visiting rooms. Um, you're usually not alone with these people, but maybe because he was a detective, he got to visit with them alone. Um, but also, there's videotape there as well. So, um, and what reason did he have to go to a prison and visit an inmate? They've already been convicted. They're already serving time. So why do you need to go and visit them as a detective? I'm just wondering, or unless he was investigating another crime that this particular inmate could have been involved in or was involved in, what have you, then that would probably justify a reason for him to go there and visit this particular person. But yet and still, where are the videotapes? Because they videotape everything. They video and record everything in those places. So I'm just a little bit confused. But they also said that this man would he would volunteer to transport gay inmates who were being released from prison. So say you were he would find out who the gay guys were that were going to be released on a particular day, and he would volunteer to go and drive them, um, transport them from the prisons to wherever it was they were going, be it a halfway house or bus station, whatever. He would actually volunteer to transport those men. And being that it was a thing for him to do this and with gay men, then we know what was happening once he picked these young men up and took them out of the prisons. Um, Now he is being held without bail in the Northampton County Prison, but he, of course, is denying all of the charges. Now, there have been at least 6 cases that have been either downgraded or overturned because of this investigation that they did against him, and all of the evidence and stuff that they found against him to be able to charge him with these terrible acts of buck breaking. Um, and his let me see, one of his cases that had got turned over, and actually the defendant had been released from jail, was against this intellectually disabled man, and he was coerced into a false confession for a 2013 murder that came with an automatic life sentence. And that case has since been vacated, and the defendant was released from prison. So he essentially pinned a murder on someone that had a intellectual disability, which just means that he's just mentally, he was disabled or unstable, not able to, probably not able to make rational decisions on his own. So this man, he probably raped him or something. He probably beat on him and everything. And this young man essentially signed his own warrant, I guess, warrant for his work. I don't even know how to wrap my mind around that, because this young man probably just didn't even know what was happening. He probably told him, if you sign this paper saying that you did it, you can go home. You want to go home? Sign this paper and say you did it, and I'll let you go home. That's how they do. But especially with people that really just can't mentally, don't know what's happening. Anyway, so this man is being sued by 5 people. He's been sued by 5 people in the past year, claiming he abused tactics to secure wrongful convictions. And it seems that the district, so anyway, before I go there, so 5 people so far have come out that are suing him for the abusing them, for setting them up to wrongfully convict them. He's got, and it's not over, because they're still bringing people in. There's still more people that he did this to over the course of his 20 years of being a law enforcement officer. It also seems that in that district attorney Larry Krasner's office has hinted that his office may soon reveal more systematic corruption by police detectives. Prosecutors have said they are investigating the work of 2 former investigators, but they are not connected with Nardu. So Nordu. So that's the we're just gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. So they have arrested this man. He is being held without bail. And apparently there's going to be 2 more soon to be arrested on corruption charges. And I say that we don't know who they are as of yet. They haven't been released. But the fact that they were linked as far as in the order of when they say corruption, more than likely it's going to be some more sexual corruption that went along with that, because why would they put them into a category with this person? We have a lot of police officers and things that are corrupt and, you know, steal and all of that stuff. Steal and kill us, and they do a lot of things. But when you got somebody running around here raping men and intimidating them to be quiet, um, we are still in the thick of this whole buck breaking thing. It is still a thing. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that. We have to um, continuously be on guard, because this isn't something, buck breaking is not something that just happened years ago when we were enslaved and being misused. Even now that we're so called quote unquote free, we still have to be leery. Our men, our boys still have to be leery that some old nasty ass man that is exuding power because he has a gun, um, or he can arrest you when you've done nothing wrong, has the power to take your manhood, to feel like it's okay because ain't nobody gonna listen to you. No one's gonna believe you. We do. My thing is, we saw this back in the 90s when that police officer, was it the 90s, late 80s, 90s? I think it was the 90s when that police officer raped that man with a plunger. Um, yeah. So I don't ever want anyone to really just think this stuff is over, that they don't do these types of things anymore, because they do. And as long as our men are too afraid or too embarrassed to shine a light on this constantly, report this, as long as they keep silent, they're going to keep doing it. Unfortunately, they're going to keep doing it because they feel they can and they know they can. And this is a rare situation where there was an investigation done against him, and not by the police department. It was the attorneys, um, the whatever prosecuting attorney that actually went after him. But hence to say, this is an ongoing thing. It has been. It has always been. And as far as at least about almost 500 years, of these men doing these things, and they ain't stopped because they're animals. There's no other word that you can call these things. They are animals, and they feel like that's the best way to exude their power. Also, just keeping it 100, they think that their power, that they have this, that that's their power. That's what they say, and they say that they're not. These men that do things like that, they don't believe that they're gay. A lot of them. There are some that are, but a lot of them do not associate themselves as gay. I wonder if this man had a wife. I didn't look that up. But they don't associate themselves as being gay. They don't think they're gay. But I don't understand how you don't think you're gay when you're having gay sex with someone, and especially someone that isn't really willing, all that willing to do it. They're not doing it because they want to, because they like to. So yeah. Anyway, I digress, guys. I just wanted to put that little video out here, just to let us know that buck breaking ain't over. It is a thing. It's always gonna be a thing until we as a people, our men, stop being embarrassed and feeling some type of way about being abused, and just start telling it and revealing it. So if you guys want more content, and I will get better at this, guys. Like I said, I've been gone for a while, and I know this video wasn't very um I don't think it was very long, but not a lot of detail in this, but I just did want to let you guys see that. So if you like, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Um, if you guys got some things you want me to look up and discuss, or find some information about, go ahead and put it in the comments for me. Your comments are always appreciated. Your subscriptions, if you guys subscribe, is always appreciated. Like, share, subscribe. And it's Queen Renae signing off. And thank you all for joining me. Have a good day.